You said you saw a couple of things England could do better.
Yeah, I think it's okay to respect and be cautious of what US could do because they are very fast players, right? They have pace, but at the same time, I don't know why he's holding back the squad from attacking more than they are doing right now. I think he can
And
unleash
you're
these
referring to
guys.
Southgate, right?
What did you say? Yeah, I'm referring to
You're referring
Southgate
to
here.
Southgate.
Now, I am not enjoying what Trippier is doing so far. I think
Okay.
he's had some bad passes, and I don't see that connection. And I think it's affecting the way Saka is playing. Right, he's not linking up as quick as enough and as accurate as enough with Saka to quickly make a decision. I've seen times that even Bellingham had to come into the middle, but that connection between Bellingham, Rice, Trippier, Saka is not working. So that's something that I think can be addressed. Now, what is the solution? The ideal solution, I know you would disagree, at this point, I'm thinking of bringing in Trent Alexander-Arnold into this game. It's a risk, but I think John Stones and Maguire will have to understand that and will have to cover. Bringing in Trent Alexander-Arnold
And
will actually give what's it called? The US more
Saka.
work to do.
Oh, okay.
Robinson. The Robinson guy, I think that's the Nottingham Forest guy, right? You know Robinson, of course.
And then
That
that's
thing that
Fulham with Cameroon.
Fulham. Robinson is doing a good job so far on Saka, and I don't like it, right? I want Saka to actually destroy this guy, chop this guy head off, like real, you know. To do that, we might need to bring in like Trent Alexander-Arnold to come and do something here, right? So that's an option, or we might have to maybe make a switch. But if Trippier doesn't improve in the next 10 minutes to this game, I think it's the first sub that I will make. Then I want
Okay.
Bellingham to be bold. I think it was bold enough in the very early start of the game, but I think I need him to be bold enough again to continue to hold that ball, then drive forward. There are many times that they play from the back. Rice came to collect the ball, but when it gets the ball, there's nobody else to open that midfield. They want to go through the middle. But to be fair to the US national team, I have loved their shape. That shape has been solid. Everybody's behind the ball.
Agreed.
Those front three are really creating that shape. So if you notice very well, it's been the front three, and they have the back three behind it. It's a double layer
Yep.
that they actually prevented that penetration from coming. So
I
they're
agree. And
thinking
they're pushing up against England. So England is finding it hard to build out of the back.
Ali. So that's why I'm looking for a win back in this situation. The right and the left back of England to do the brave thing right here. Let's push up. Let's support the attack. Luke Shaw is sitting back too much, same as Trippier, and Trippier is actually worse because his passes are not connecting. So if you can have Luke Shaw and a replacement for Trippier firing on both sides, that will give more firepower to Sterling and Saka on that side. And I want Bellingham to be brave enough. He's doing far so good, but I don't see him supported. Messi Mount has a work rate. There are times I see him jogging around after he has lost the ball. And I'm like, no, this is not the Messi Mount that I noticed. When you lose the ball, this is Messi Mount that will chase and chase and chase from end to the beginning. So I need him to put in that more work. I'll stop and I'll talk about somebody. But so far, I've also been impressed by Harry Kane. Harry Kane is just so confident. Honestly, that guy is one of the best strikers.
Perfect. Yes.
Or carrying the ball, that confidence in a striker, a big guy, man, he should keep doing that. And I think he's going to draw out the US national team. But so far, to your point, I don't want to say the same thing that you said. I don't want to commit and say the US has impressed me. I think they've done great so far. Good job to them. They can keep up their shape. They had chances. To be honest, they should have been all by 2 goals. To take their chances because second half won't be like the first half.
So what are the 2 chances you saw for the US? And are you saying the US should just stay as they are, or any chances for improvements or changes?
I think for right now, okay, so you mentioned something, and I'm going to probably leverage what you said. When you look at the bench, the English team has an advantage. That bench is filled of another squad that you can bring in and replace everybody. That's how good the bench is, right? When you look at the United States bench, that is not as strong as the English bench, right? So
I agree.
There's really not a lot of option other than to say, for now, for the next 20-25 minutes, I'll keep the same shape. I don't think they can carry that same work rate and strength. So at that point, I'll be thinking of bringing in an attacker to keep the pressure up front. But I like the shape. I will keep that shape. That front three, everybody behind the ball, draw back, full attack, full mass defense. I think I will keep that strategy going forward. But if there's a change from that English team, bringing in somebody like Trent Alexander-Arnold to support Saka on the right, I might need to have a rethink about my backline because Robinson alone won't be able to handle that side. And that might be a problem, and I don't want to open up. So that's what I see. But so far, they are doing a great job. I just don't think they can do that same thing for 90 minutes.
Benga, your thoughts on England and US so far? Any changes for either side to get an advantage?
I agree with Jordan's analysis. I think it's the US keep right. That's assuming nothing changes from the English side. To be Jordan's point on the English side, I would still say keep the current formation, the positioning of the players on the US side. Wait till 15 minutes into the game before bringing to Jordan's earlier analysis, bringing an attacker. Of course, they're going to sit back, but bringing someone with very, high pace, very fast pace, so that on the counter, what happens is typical of him, he's going to be going out of position passes. So what the US doing is just sitting back, waiting for that chance. That was when Alexander is all the way up front, and they have an opportunity to kind of at least send that ball to kind of take advantage of that.
And maybe that's Southgate's thinking, right, in why he's kept Trippier on, right? Because he doesn't want to take that risk, and at the worst, he's thinking, okay, maybe at the very worst, we get a draw from this game, and that should be enough to see us finish the group with 7 points and maybe top the group.
I agree with you, but to be honest, no disrespect to the US. This is my home country. I don't want to be deported the next day. But to be honest, man, it's like you give it too much credit to the US national team. If you were Southgate, you guys trashed Iran 6-2. Are you going to tell me that you trashed Iran 6-2 with that kind of game and energy and strength and confidence coming out of the first game, and going to go into a second game saying, I don't want to? Tell me how many runners are okay. Agreed. All these guys have pace, but other than Pulisic, right?
Yeah.
And George Weah, and I like what that guy is doing. Haji Wright, those front three actually doing something that beyond my expectation today, right? But you and I know that Pulisic cannot do that for 90 minutes. It is not that strong. I don't want to say he's lazy, but so far I don't think he has reached his fitness level to do that for 90 minutes going forward. Pulisic will get tired by 70, 72. He cannot sustain that. There's a guy, Sargent, who is big, but he's not as skillful at this front three. They might bring in Sargent to impose that physical ability on the English national team. That might be an option for them. Other than maybe try Qatar Vickers or all these other guys. I don't know what that will result to. But I would not hesitate to take a risk, right? At this point, even if I need to switch to a 3-5-2, right? At this point, maybe do a 3-5-2. Maguire, Stones, and maybe even take out put Luke Shaw into the midfield, take out Trippier and bring somebody like Dyer, right, to give me an additional midfield, right? So that we go 3-5-2 at this point. Let's take a risk. Let's get a goal. The worst that could happen is US will score you first. We'll get a goal. We'll seal a draw. But Southgate thinking that I will go for a draw, I just think it's too. Be doing that. I think it's too much respect for the US national team.
So what
it won't do that, right? It has 3 points in the bag. It can't afford to lose. There's a pride thing that's at play. England versus America, and who he is. He wants to always be very conservative. To your point, I agree with you. Like you lose, but then you still have 3 points in the bag, knowing that you have an advantage over Iran already. 6 points at the end of the old point at the entire season, and you still qualify. But Southgate is very, very conservative. They would rather keep the current destiny, knowing that they expected his team to have at least have one in the bag, and they don't have it right now. I won't be surprised if.
Yeah, so I think we've seen enough from Southgate, right, to know what to expect, to know that he's not going to take that risk. Even at the end of that Iran game, right, where they won 6-2, when they asked his thoughts on the game, his main comment was that he was disappointed at the goals that they gave up, right? So he's someone who, I guess, deep down in him, he hates conceding, and he would rather take a 0-0 draw than win 7-5. I think is the kind of coach that he's seen.
Let me throw the same question to you. What would you change?
Hold on. Yeah, so I'll come to what I can change. One area that I've noticed for both teams, right, in terms of opportunities, and I think we saw chances come from those two areas, is that both teams are playing one central defensive midfielder, where Rice is the one sitting back mostly for England, and Tyler Adams is sitting back mostly for the US. And so we saw chances for the US where they pushed McKennie and Musa up close. By the way, I've been very impressed with Musa. I hadn't seen him play before the World Cup. He's very technically gifted, very athletic.
Yeah,
I'm very impressed. I would say he's my unknown for this World Cup that has impressed me so far. Same thing with Bellingham. Bellingham is able to find spaces behind Musa. You could see the chance that he created for Saka, where Saka was able to drop the ball back to Kane, right, in that chance that created. So I think that's where there is an area of opportunity for both teams. Now, for changes, one change that I think I would make, as I would say both teams are probably going to keep this for the first 10-15 minutes. I would say they're going to assess and see how things go in the first half before making any changes. I don't expect any changes from either manager at halftime. I would say as hard right maybe starts to tire, I would actually push Tim Ware to the middle and bring in Brendan Aronson. Brendan Aronson is very good at pressing, and I think there could be an opportunity to press Luke Shaw and force Luke Shaw back. Luke Shaw has been pushing up a bit more for the England.
That's the Leeds United. That's the other Leeds United guy, right?
Yes. Okay. And Aronson presses. He is relentless. He works hard. He will run. He chases lost causes. So I think that's where there's an opportunity.
I would Timothy Ware for Aronson.
No, hard right. I would take hard right out.
Okay, hard right.
Ware up to the middle.
Okay.
For England, I agree with the analysis of bringing in Trent. I think Stones is intelligent enough to cover up deficiencies. We saw, I think, towards the end of the first half where Turner tried to release Pulisic and Stones was right there to cover up, right? Because Trippier was out of position. And if Trent Alexander-Arnold comes on, we're likely to see that happen a lot. So I agree with that change of bringing in Trent. I would also bring in Rashford. I personally wouldn't start Sterling for England because I think he's off at the moment. So I would start Rashford or Grealish or one of those others in for Sterling on the left.
Yeah, I think you just addressed my point. I was going to ask you, the reason I didn't want to pick on Sterling is because he has not seen most of the ball like Saka has seen. I don't know why England just concentrated on that right side. Maybe they thought that was.
I think he has actually seen the ball. Yeah, I think he has actually seen the ball.
He was waiting a lot. I don't know if you noticed. There were many times I was waiting quietly. Like nobody should spot me. Nobody, can you guys give me the ball? And nobody was looking. And they kept playing towards the right. I'm like, can we switch over? Sterling is right there. Let's get the ball. But again, I'm okay with that. But I just don't know if it's too early to bring out Sterling because he hasn't. It's not like he's not performing. He has just not seen the lot of the ball like other people.
But I think that's part of it. He's seen the ball. So I've seen Shaw feed him the ball a few times, and he either just drops it back or he plays a 1-2 with Mount and tries to run off. At least that's what I've seen from Sterling in the first half.
But Rashford might be a good option, and I agree with you. There are people on the bench, right? So I don't know why England will waste too much time wrapping up this game. There's Rashford, there's Grealish. Let's bring in these boys. Foden is there. These are runners. Those are three great players that can unlock this United States team. But good game. Are we going back to the game and coming back at the end?
Just one comment. Rashford, I would rather bring in Foden.
Foden instead of Rashford?
Just because of his mobility across the distance.
Small details.
Yeah. But yeah.
Agreed. Foden will start for me, actually. I think of all the options, Foden is the one who's on form and best right now. But yeah. All right.
Are we keeping the stream or are we coming back? Are we keeping the stream or? Okay. All right.
We'll come back.
All right.